So the Miami Marlins certainly got roughed up last night by the Atlanta Braves as the Braves beat them 14-6 last night in what was a home run barrage. Ozuna hit a couple of home runs, including a grand slam. Riley homered in the game. Ronnie homered in the game. Michael Harris homered in the game. Just to give you an idea of what the bottom of their lineup did. The bottom of their lineup was 8 for 15 with 6 runs scored and 7 RBI. That's your 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Ronnie scored twice and had 3 runs. Matt Olson had a hit with a run scored. Riley had the 2-run homer and he scored a run. Murphy had a couple of hits. Ozzie Albies had 4 hits and 2 runs and 2 driven in. So everybody has been getting healthy over these last couple of games. And obviously, the Braves are going for the sweep now. And we talked yesterday about the idea of they're now 14-3 on the road. That's one of the best starts in Major League Baseball history on the road. And certainly the best percentage that any team has been able to play on the road. But if you look at where the Braves have been against the Miami Marlins, every time that they have faced the Marlins over the last several years, it's been just what the doctor has ordered. So let me give you the numbers. Since 2016, not counting the results of this year's games, so not counting 2023, but 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, okay? The Braves have been 81-42 versus the Marlins. That's a 658 winning percentage. So basically, they are winning 2 out of every 3 games that they play against the Miami Marlins, no matter what year, right? They've been 13-6 one year, 11-8, 6-4 in the pandemic year. Then they've also been 15-4, 14-5, and 18-19. So it hasn't mattered that the Miami Marlins, whether they've been good or whether they've been bad or whether they've been mediocre, whatever they've been, the Braves have owned them. And this has been a situation where, sometimes you have to have some teams that you get right against, right? Like you have to have those get right teams. And for Miami, look, they're a divisional foe. You know that you're going to play them 19 times. Hey, listen, the Mets play them 19 times. The Nationals play them 19 times. So you can't argue with, the schedule or anything like that. It's unfair that, the Braves get to play the Marlins more. That's their division foe. It's the same thing with the Oakland A's. Same thing with, some of these other vagabond organizations that, look, you play the bad teams as well. So the Miami Marlins have been just what the doctor ordered as an elixir for if you're struggling offensively. And if you're not able to get right, you can play the Miami Marlins and find a way to get healthy, right? I mean, Olson and Riley have been a couple of guys that have kind of struggled of late here. Olson had been on a stretch where 13 games, he was hitting a $150. Riley's obviously had his struggles. He's at 239. But you take Marcell Ozuna, who we're going to talk about here in just a couple of minutes. He was hitting 085. And now, look, it's not impressive in some ways that, he's hitting now 147. But still, if you get all of these guys hot, and it speaks to the depth of the Braves lineup that the bottom of their order had 8 hits in a game last night. And that's obviously the thing that we have talked a lot about, the depth of the Braves lineup. But these are get right games, and the Braves are taking full advantage of it. And the Braves have taken advantage of it for the last almost decade when it comes to playing the Marlins. Look, you're not going to go 81-42 versus the Dodgers, Mets, and the best teams in the National League, right? The Padres or the Phillies or whatever team is hot for that year. But you have to beat up on those bad teams. And when you get a chance to play 19 games against a lesser foe and a weaker foe, you kick them when they're down. You take advantage of that. And the Braves have done a great job of not allowing the Marlins to be an organization that they always play them tough, and these games are always back and forth. No, by and large, they've always had a winning record against the Marlins. Some years it's been a little bit closer, 11-7, 11-8. Some years, again, it's been 15-4, 14-5. Well, if you can pick up, 4, 5, 10 games against one opponent, then you're doing your job. So, look, say what you will about the Marlins, okay? Doesn't matter if they've been good, doesn't matter if they've been bad. One thing about the Braves, though, is that they've always been able to beat the Marlins and pad their record. And at 81-42 since 2016, where you've won, you can almost guarantee yourself that you're going to win 2 out of 3 games. That's a pretty good feeling, and a feeling of that we can go out and no matter how good these guys are or what have you, go out there and beat them. Whether it's at home, on the road, it really hasn't mattered over the course of these last several years for the Atlanta Braves. So give them some credit as far as they don't get beat by some of these floundering teams. They don't let some of these floundering organizations step up and take care of their business against the Braves, where they just go out there and every series, every time they play, they go out there and just know that they're going to win. Definitely a confidence factor for this Braves team. All right. We thank you for making Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen every day. Make sure that you go in and make a comment in the comment section of whatever platform that you're listening on to let us know that you're an everyday listener. So we call these folks our everydayers, right? So go in the comment section on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast from and leave us a comment that you are an everyday listener. Let us know that you do listen in every day, as we thank you so much for being an everydayer. Thank you so much for obviously listening in 5 days a week to the content that we're providing to you.